I know how discouraging it can feel to walk through the grocery store and realize that most of what's marketed to our kids is packed with ingredients that just don't belong in little bodies. That's why I've started making more from scratch, because it's better for them and honestly better for me too. Today I'm sharing some of my go-to nourishing snacks, easy recipes that I've come to trust in this season of motherhood. So settle in with a cozy drink and let's make a few things together that feel good all around. First up, cheesy einkorn crackers. These are a homemade version of Goldfish or Cheez-Its. I know this is all the craze right now, so I wanted to jump on the wagon. These, however, are made with only 4 ingredients. We're going to start with 8 ounces of cheese, 1.25 cups of einkorn flour, some cold butter cut into little cubes, thrown in, and the last ingredient is yogurt. So these are not only high protein, but they're also high fat. They're going to keep your kids satiated much longer than a high carb, high sugar snack will. That's always a win in my book. I'm always looking for higher protein and higher fat in my kids' snacks. And one of the only ways I've found to do this and do it well is to make my snacks myself in my own kitchen. You are going to get away from seed oils, MSG, and synthetic flavorings that are in most cheesy crackers at the store. I will pulse the first 3 ingredients together till I get a coarse texture. Then add in my homemade yogurt, which I will link a video if you're interested to make your own Greek yogurt, and pulse for another minute or 2. This is my first time using this simple 4-ingredient recipe. This first dough came out a little bit crumbly, so I went ahead and made a second dough just to see what the difference would be if I used a little less flour and a little more yogurt. That made a much easier and more workable dough. Although this was kind of difficult to work with, these actually came out super great, and I think I prefer the first crumbly dough over the softer, more workable dough. I think maybe a little bit too much yogurt and a little less flour made them a little too fluffy and not as crunchy as we would like them to be. So once I get my dough ball formed, I will put those in the fridge for about 30 minutes. And while that is cooling, I will get started on my next snack. Another favorite, homemade gut healing gummies. These are made with just 3 ingredients: 100% fruit juice, maple syrup, and grass-fed bovine gelatin. Unlike store gummies, which usually contain food dyes, corn syrup, and artificial flavors, these are actually good for your family. So we're doing 2 cups of frozen fruit. You can just use a fruit juice. I just didn't have any on hand today. A couple of tablespoons of lemon. 3 to 4 tablespoons of maple syrup or honey. Blend it up super well in the trusty Vitamix. You want to make sure you get all of those clumps out before you pour it into your pot to heat. Heating it allows the gelatin to dissolve into the fruit mixture. And I'm doing 4 tablespoons of this gelatin. I will link some below, but it is pretty easy to find in stores these days. And whisking it in until all of the clumps are gone. We are not boiling, we are just heating up enough for that gelatin to dissolve into the juice. I have a couple of molds here. You can just pour this into a pan or a Tupperware container and then slice it up once it's set. My kids obviously would prefer something cute like little gummy bears, and I also have these silicone square molds that I use for chocolate making. You do need to work quickly while the mixture is warm. The gummies will start to set up pretty quickly as the fruit mixture cools off. So bovine gelatin is rich in amino acids like glycine, which supports gut health, joint function, and even sleep, and they taste amazing. My kids think they are candy. I do think that the pure fruit juice over blending up your fruit will make it easier if you have very detailed silicone molds like these little teddy bears. They didn't pop out as easily as they usually do with just a straight fruit juice, and you'll just stick those in the fridge for about 30 minutes. They still came out delicious, and my kids love them regardless, even if some of the gummy bears might have been missing a hand or a foot. Once that cracker dough is cooled, I'll put some muscle into this dough and get it rolled out. 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch is what we are going for. The thicker the dough is, the more fluffy of a cracker you're going to get. I find it so therapeutic to cut this dough with my pizza cutter. It is an unusually quiet moment in the house right now, and I'm really enjoying this. And don't forget to poke holes in your crackers so that they don't puff up with air. Store-bought cheese crackers often contain MSG, seed oils, and synthetic flavorings. These just 4 ingredients and a huge cost savings. 1 box of organic style cheese crackers can run $4 to $5 for just 6 ounces. Making them at home costs around $2 for the same amount, with much better ingredients and no mystery oils. So with my extra dough, I will make some Louisiana style goldfish, which we're just going to add some crawfish in there. I have some crawfish cookie cutouts naturally, and they thought these were the most fun. And this is how my first batch of crackers came out. They are so delicious, a little bit fluffy, but this is the first crumbly dough, and we did prefer these over the other ones. However, they all got eaten, so I don't think you can go wrong. Be careful, those crackers can go from orange to brown super quickly like these did, but we actually really enjoyed the crunchiness of the goldfish and the crawfish. Now let's talk fruit. Simple, naturally sweet, and so easy to prep. When we dehydrate fruit at home, we are preserving vitamins, minerals, and fiber without any added sugars, preservatives, or sulfur dioxide. Yes, that is in a lot of store-bought dried fruit. Can you believe it? Bananas, apples, strawberries, whatever is in season, I slice it up evenly and pop it into the dehydrator. We're doing pineapples and bananas because that's what we had on the counter. These are perfect for car rides or co-op bags. I love my 10-tray dehydrator. I will link that below if you're looking for something heavy duty. We actually bought this for deer season for jerky, but it works for everything. And I'll pop those in and check on them in several hours. I love these because they are set it and forget it. Next up, we were on a little tropical fruit kick, chopping up a bunch of coconut and papaya. Please listen to my son's reaction to this papaya.
Papaya. Oh my, that's all rabbit poop. Ew.
So we do have meat rabbits here on our little urban homestead, so naturally that's what he thought papaya seeds were. And also a little bit of dragon fruit. So beautiful, never gets old cutting one of these open. We chopped all this up, ate a bunch, and then froze it. So now we will blend up something creamy and nourishing, high protein smoothies with raw milk and a scoop of desiccated liver powder, I know liver sounds intense, but in small amounts, it's tasteless and so powerful. It's one of the most nutrient-dense foods on earth, loaded with B vitamins, iron, and essential minerals. And my kids don't even notice it's in there. When paired with raw milk, which contains calcium, enzymes, and healthy fats, plus some fruit and collagen or nut butter, the smoothie becomes a complete snack that keeps my littles full and balanced. No blood sugar crashes here. I will link the liver powder that I like to use in the description below if you are curious to check that out. It is very convenient. And next we are making simple homemade hummus. Chickpeas, olive oil, lemon, garlic, sea salt, and some spices, and that's really it. And I made a little boo-boo here. I was moving a little too quickly and added some baking soda in right before the lemon. So that's the bubbling that you see there. I will link the recipe below so you can see when you should use the baking powder. This one is high in protein, rich in fiber, and packed with plant-based nutrients. We are not a plant-based household, but I will take my protein wherever I can get it, and hummus is so delicious. And it is a great way to get the kids eating and snacking on vegetables they love dipping in hummus. Store-bought hummus often includes vegetable oils, preservatives, and fillers, but when you make it yourself, you're giving your family healthy fats and real flavor. We love it with carrots, cucumbers, or even spread on cheesy crackers we made earlier. A container of hummus at the store, depending on what you're getting, can be $4, $6. I can make triple that amount at home for about $3 and with higher quality oil and no hidden extras. These dehydrated fruits came out wonderfully. I did them at 135-ish for about 12 to 15 hours. Snacks don't have to be stressful, and they don't have to come from a box. If this video gave you some ideas or encouragement, maybe share it with another mom who is trying to do the same. I have a lot more videos on nourishing from scratch homemaking if you would like to check those out. Thank you for being here. Until next time, bye y'all.